Hey, Allah, shalom, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Chadash, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Hey, this is your brother Mark from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp, and I didn't want to this lesson, super deep. I just kind of wanted to go over some major news lines that were catching my attention, that I wanted to speak on because a lot of things have been happening these last, I could say, you know, a while, 3 days. We've had a lot of increase over there in the Levant region, over there rekindling the fire right after those people in the GAZA moved back into their little houses, man, started sweeping up, clearing streets, getting everything in order, and then what do you know comes right on time when everything seems to be just a-okay, man. We got those lico hats over there dropping bombs, and some of the how do you say reports I'm seeing are mixed. I'm seeing 2 days ago they say 220. I saw another article saying 400 injured or unalived. So a lot of these things, and in response to that, I just watched the brother Hananiah's video, and hey, shalom. I was like, ya Allah, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatah. I was watching the brother Hananiah, and he was going into how the response of the attack over there in the GAZA led to an attack on a U.S. aircraft carrier, Harry S. Truman, which ended up getting attacked more than normal to the point where they actually had to flee and they were getting attacked from drones, and kamikaze drones from the Houthis, as they say, and this war over there is going to escalate, and as they're talking about peace talks in Ukraine, man, it's not going to happen because they come to a ceasefire deal. And things happen in the Middle East and all the countries get pulled in. You don't think fighting is going to start up in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine immediately? It will, man, because Russia is now going to have to go against, Babylon, because Iran is one of Russia's allies, and Iran, is one of the main suppliers to a lot of these different countries that are, I guess you could say, smaller countries that don't have such military might, but still they're the main purchasers of the weapons that are used in the attacks, which we know by definition is the same thing that Babylon the Great does all over the world, and I have scripture prepared, but like I said, I wanted to get through some of these articles. And, so keep in chronological order, you had the increase in bombing over there in the GAZA by the lico hats, which led to an escalated attack on U.S. aircraft carriers in the Red Sea, which is in charge of keeping the Hormuz in line, which the Strait of Hormuz is that side of the world, the so-called Middle East, the right there in Egypt, that is that world's Panama Canal. It's a major shipping route and crucial to trade over there and the whole that side of the world. Because if not, they would have to go all the way around Africa. The brother showed this picture. Bring it up right now just to show you quick of the difference of the route you have to take if you decided to be able to have access to that area. Strait of Hormuz, not Strait of Hormuz, Suez Canal. I don't know why I'm saying Strait of Hormuz. It's a Suez Canal route. This is going to show you real quick the difference. This is the picture. Salakia, if you can't see, that's too bright. Let me turn down the brightness a little bit. I always have my shit on high. So this is what they're fighting over right now. This is control over what's called the Suez Canal, which and this is the Red Sea right here where the U.S. Harry Truman was attacked. If this area is in hell, they would have to go all the way around the Horn of Africa to the bottom of South Africa, which is 50 miles, it says right here. Round trip. Salakia, 15,000 miles, 15,000 miles round trip. So as you can see, Babylon the Great has already locked down Panama Canal over here, which we know that BlackRock company has bought 90% of the Panama Canal because they wouldn't sell out to a government, but they'd sell out to a private entity, which is damn near the same thing if it's BlackRock, which is a major corporation here in Babylon. If you don't know what BlackRock is, man, hey, go do your research because you got to know these things. And this is one of the key players in, controlling both Panama Canal. So these attacks happened. So what's going on? We're seeing escalation. And the article that I wanted to bring from that is what the head of the National Security Advisor, his name was Mike Waltz, and this is from NBC. This is National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says all options table in responding to Iran, because it's not a hidden fact that Iran is the one that supplies the weapons for the other smaller groups that attack, the U.S. So, of course, they're gonna go to the source, just going after the little hats, agenda, because Israel wants to have all that land over there. They say from the Euphrates all the way to over there at Salakia. It's in between the whole region in between the two rivers, which is Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, a lot of other countries in between that, and they call it the Greater Israel Project. As we see that the sword, the hammer of the earth, is over here getting ready to defend the Likkle Hatzman, which they have. And this is again, I'm going to read the article. This is Washington, and this is posted March 16th, so 3 days ago. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says Sunday that all options are on the table, always on the table, when asked whether direct military action against Iran would be possible, which we know under, according to Bible, probably inevitable. And if you remember talking about the brothers talking a list that was handed to certain generals to a war plan that they're going to attack these certain countries in the future. One of them was Libya. One of them was Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, Kuwait. There were certain other countries that they were going to overtake and overthrow. And at the time, those were the only countries that didn't have a central bank in their country controlling their currency. And we know that Gaddafi got taken out because he wanted to change over he wanted to create an African gold dinar based on a gold standard, and we know that would utterly wipe off the face of the planet, the US dollar. And he wasn't even doing it as a terms of military, world dominance, like he had power plans. He just wanted to be self-sufficient for his own country because they have everything that they need in their own land to be self-sustainable, to be self-sufficient, and not depend on the system, which we understand is not how this world is run, man. You're either getting down or you're laying down, and that goes on a country level more than on an individual level, man, because we can go away, man. We don't have to be an influence other than having to maintain a roof over our head and pay bills and, be a part of society in that sense, man. But, we don't have them, bombing us, getting our resources cut off that are coming to our country, which we know that, like they say, your life is just a microcosm of the world's problems, but you ain't even got the ability to see to solve them, something like that. I mean, a rhyme, but what's going on in your world is a small indicator of what's going on everywhere else in the world. And as you can see with the inflation of prices, I just went and got gas, and I have to say, last 2 weeks, it's always been like 320, 319, 322, 327. But I went to go get gas right now, and it was 357. It almost went up 10, 20 cents, and it's been staying pretty steady the last couple months, man. So that's a telltale sign that, things are going on in the world. So to get to these scriptures, actually, I wanted to read one more thing. I wanted to read one more article because the article that talked about the ceasefire being broken between Israel and Hamas fails as both trade blame 200 plus dead. And like I said, this is a couple days ago, so these numbers are going to be even more. But this is according to AFP. Gaza's Civil Defense Agency said at least 220 people have been unalived in Gaza during the first hours of the ceasefire falling apart. Reports indicate that more than 600 have been injured. So hey, I think that 400 casualty report is probably more accurate because I saw that today when it's probably 1,000 plus injured. And we understand, man, this is all just a show. We understand what this is coming to. But ultimately, this is just causing the whole world, in Western Asia, what the world calls Europe, to hate this place, to see the amount of fuckery that it does, to see that it causes nothing but chaos and, how do you say, destabilizes nations. It doesn't bring consistency. It doesn't bring peace. It just brings chaos, man. And the only reason why Babylon the Great and these little hats, they bring chaos, is because these other countries aren't doing what they want, man. And if you're not doing exactly what they want, how they want it done, when done, you become an enemy, and they're going to make sure that your country and your people suffer. So again, this is getting back into these scriptures. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 11. And this is going into, Babylon out, because they're the ones that are going to get it the worst, Babylon the Great and the Holy Land, because we know those two lands are going to be completely wiped out, but only Babylon the Great is not going to be re-inhabited after the destruction. But this is Jeremiah 11, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as, ultimately talking about how these heathen nations and Esau Edom has gotten rich off of Jake's inventions, keeping Jake in captivity. The only reason why these countries and ancient empires about in your history books have any sort of history written about them of being remembered is because the Israelites made that land great while they were in captivity under those nations. And the same with this place, man. Like Gala always says, man, out there in the GMS Inland Empire out there in LA, man, he says there's no reason why a so-called black man or Judah out here, so-called black man, should be out here walking around poor, because we have come from so much wealth. Our ancestors, even the during the dark ages, man, where'd all that wealth go? And we understand that while Jake was able to claim a lot of the patents for the inventions, one main one off the top of my head is the cotton gin. The cotton gin, the word gin just means trap. So it's just a small contraption that separated the seeds from the fibers that you get from the cotton. But obviously, the slave master had no problem putting the slaves out, man. And when slaves were like, Judah's probably like, man, let's try to make this easier on ourselves. What do we got at our disposal? I've seen pictures of it, man. It's a couple cylindrical metal thing with a bunch of spikes on it, and then it has in a square box, man, with a little hand crank. So what it is something very simply made, because Jake didn't have access to things like that, man. But then the plant owner saw it and was like, hey, man, it works really good. I'm gonna go get that, patented, and then I'll have you guys make them at a high volume, and then I'll sell. So hey, man, just one of many examples. The radio, the traffic lights that you see. So again, man, all of our people shouldn't be in the state that they're in, but we know that they are, because we went against our Lord. We're punished right now. We're not as bastards being unpunished as these heathen nations, man. We getting it good, man. Every time, brothers out there that work hard, man, you got to wake up and go to the job. And as you can see, man, I got sun. Again, it's still pretty cold out. There's not a lot of sun right now. It's still early spring. But I'm getting blasted out there, man, with stuff. So it's not like it's like like a easy captivity here, man. We're physically, and physical is the easy part of it, man. Not even to mention the spiritual type of, you know, how do you say, like, energy always here in Babylon the Great. You're around your fucking coworkers, around these faithless people, man, worried about fucking hours and, oh, we gotta work X amount of hour. I'm not gonna have enough money. This no faith, man. We understand that this truth gives us the stability, but just being around fucking people in the world, man, I ain't hit up nobody, and not because I, think I'm all better than them, just because really, man, none of the shit that, the old me's dead. None of the stuff that I knew from these people way years ago do I have anything in common with now. Nor do I want to know that. Nor do I need friends. Nor am I lonely. Nor do I need to hang around people to feel accepted like the people in this world do, man. We have the brothers, which is more than enough, man. You're bored. You got nothing to do. You live amongst brothers in the inner city, man. Buy some meat, like Brother Barakala said. Buy some meat, marinate it, call the brothers up. Get some drinks, do a lesson, man. Stay at night if you can't drive. That's a night. That's a fun time right there, man. Getting all the together. It's nonstop, man. And that is a genuine, you know, uh, brotherhood that you get. Not even your real brothers, your real sisters. People in your family understand what we do in this truth, man. But not to go off on a tangent, Akia, but this captivity has really drained everything we have out, man. Everything. We've gotten everything stripped from us. Like the brothers always say, man, we got our heritage, our nationality, our language, our our power stripped from us, man. Our power in the sense of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and having a relationship. But back at it, we understand that, hey, man, this is all according to prophecy. And this is Jeremiah 50:12. It says, "Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed." And we know that this isn't talking about an actual mother. This is about, as you could say, the British, over there, because the British was that first came over here and started the colonies, and then you had the American Revolution, which then they broke off from being a part of the colonies, is what they were called, and started their own country. So in a sense, that was the mother of harlots, because you had the uh, great whore, the daughter of Babylon, you know. But going into it, because Europe was the one that gave the creation, so-called the European countries. I say it like that for sake of understanding, but the European countries, mainly British and the UK, were the ones that gave birth to, America, where they even had same colors in their flags. They don't got stars, but they all got the same colors. A lot of the same customs, everything, man. But this is I'm gonna read 12 again. This is Jeremiah 50:12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert, because a lot of destruction is coming. But it says that your mother shall be sore confounded, which means that goes into the prophecy of how it says the beast shall hate the whore. European countries ultimately are going to shoot missiles as well on this place. So that is just another scripture to show you the division that these Edomites have within their household. But if call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the elders and apostles, for bringing us up correctly in the doctrine. Because if you saw that word mother, and these things, and you weren't really, aware of who this was talking to, you could easily go off on a million different things of what that meant, man. But that's what that means. Europe was countries, mainly the British, were the ones that gave birth, to Babylon the Great. This is continuing, verse 13. Because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Ultimately, all the land wholly desolate, and that's Babylon the Great. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. You're like, shit, man. You get the hiss. You see someone getting fucked up. You see a crazy judgment video online. You're like, fuck, man. I take a second. But hey, man, this place is gonna get it worse. And call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because hey, man, this place deserves it the worst, man. If you look into the history, man, you go into the antiquities of Mexico, you go into the American Holocaust. They're all books about the Gadite and the northern kingdoms pummeled by Esau, man. This is verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye and the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord Yahweh. And I have that scripture as being one of the key points, because that's what's going on with those news articles. Other countries are seeing that they're tired of what Babylon the Great has been taking advantage of their power and how they've been wielding it. And another thing that I wanted to speak on that I said today, this is 3 hours ago, because ultimately, even though Babylon thinks have allies right now, ultimately their own allies are going to turn against them. And they're going to turn against them using their own weapons. That's another thing. And not just like, oh, you have the same type of, nuclear. Oh, it's going to be their exact weapons that they gave some of these countries to use to defend against themselves. They're going to be used against the same people that gave it to them, which is Babylon the Great. And this is from Warsaw, Poland. This is Polish president asks U.S. to store nuclear weapons in Poland as a deterrent to Russia. comes after Polish lawmakers signal need to obtain nuclear weapons. Poland is one of those big, proud ass Edomite countries, man. And they're right there, border of Belarus, which is like a buffer country between them and Russia. So they're right on, say, the front line of being a wall of those countries that are first attacked if NATO goes to war with Russia and Iran. So again, man, this is one of those things that they're asking to store more weapons that they'll have control over as a deterrent. And these is a list of countries that already have nuclear weapons given to them by the U.S. This is as U.S. nuclear weapons are kept in Belgium, Germany, Italy, Slovakia, Belgium, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands, and Turkey. The primary purpose of these weapons overseas is to strengthen deterrence against adversaries, reassure allies of U.S. security commitments, and ensure a rapid response capability if necessary. While these weapons are stored in host nations, they remain under U.S. control. So I stand corrected. With authority restating solely with the President of the United States, besides the U.S., Russia is the only other country known to store its nuclear weapons in another foreign nation, and that is Belarus. Look at that. So it has nuclear weapons stored outside, but they got them in Belarus, which is right there, the border of Poland, which is, again, why they're asking for. Don't have any of the capabilities, the scientists, none of that. Like the scriptures say, the Lord is the one that created the smith that bloweth the coals. I'm going to get that. This is 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And we understand that it's these nuclear missiles and the high advanced capabilities that these other countries have with their, weapons. Whether they be a stressor Edomite nation, these Edomites, Salakia, have that blessing as a, so I'm not going to make this too much longer, Akim. I want to get a couple more of these news articles, and this is from Upward News. If brothers want to go look at their website, UPARD, Upward, UPWAD News. I thought I saw a couple other ones in here. Salakia. I saw this. I mean, there's plenty going on, man. You seen that Jake in New York eating that rat? I guess you could say here's another one. This is 4,000 Likohats Israelis protest Netanyahu's return to war in GZA and his plan to fire intel chief. So even though the people over there are having problems with the type of conflicts that they're having. God damn, get this one. This is mother unalives her 11-year-old daughter, thought she was having relations with her husband. Man, so you see these, man, these demons are out. These demons are getting out. And it says she killed 4 pets. 4 pets in front of her daughter as like threatening of saying like, this is what's going to happen to you if you don't tell me the truth, man. They demons, man. What else is going on? Hey, man, there's plenty going on, because not to mention the natural disaster. Saw a blood red moon at this Passat. Not to mention in Iran was a deluge of red rain that caused the water to turn, really dark red. And the same happened in Peru and Argentina as well. They had reports of them having their rivers turn red, and I saw the pictures of it. It looks deep, dark red. It doesn't look like algae. And they said that it stinks too. Let me see if I can get that. It's in Argentina. Blood red rivers. Here it is. And that's the picture I was looking at right here. That's dark red it was looking. And I'm going to go to an article. This article is going to be read from AP News. This is from AP News, and this is the article talking about what was going on over there in Buenos Aires, which is Slovakia. Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is, it looks stream of blood. A river near Buenos Aires turns red, sparking fears of toxic leak. Toxic leak, my ass, man. That's the Lord Yahweh Shai Shai giving them a sign, and the fact that they have it next to storage facilities, trying to say that that was the cause of it, man. There's nothing leaking from those facilities that's going to cause the stream upstream and that's where they actually store oil. So, like, I'm trying to get it. But as you can see, it's just a bunch of storage containers. And this is just a little something to say after showing you those pictures. This is a following collection of water samples. They filed a complaint with Buenos Aires Province Ministry of Infrastructure and Public Services, which will lead an investigations. Again, this is coming from the seas as well. They call it red tide. So they're not they're not giving a direct answer. They're saying they're getting tests. They're going to sue this person, but they can't explain why it's turning the river's blood red, man. But hey, this is another sign, and nonetheless in Jake territory, I guess you could say, in the Northern Kingdom's land over there in Argentina, which we know that Argentinians are the tribe of Naphtali. So Naphtali over there getting it. So I'm gonna look for a little bit more real quick. If I can't find nothing, we'll just close it out. But hey, man, here it is. This is China says to host Russia, Iran for nuclear this week. So the majority of Babylon the Great's enemies all getting cozied up, man, for the worst. This is nearly 100 U.S. companies announced layoffs across multiple sectors in March 2025. And another thing, brothers, they say Macy's are closing all of its stores. Macy's, are closing all their brick and mortar because they had a $21.6 billion loss in revenue. So we see that the mirth of this land is going down. Again, if you're a fan of Volcom, Billabong, or Quicksilver, those three skateboard surfer brands are actually, being closing as well, all their storefronts. I was actually in the Boise Mall here not long ago, and they have an actual Volcom store inside the Boise Mall, and everything said 25, 50 to 70% off, closing store, everything must go, blah blah, and you see that a lot, man. I know that a lot of these places that go out of business, it takes a long time for that same store to get another tenant in, which wasn't like it in the past, man. If one's moving out, man, they had construction going the next week, and within a couple more weeks, you had a new spot popping up. So again, it just goes to show you that that these places are, and Babylon the Great is getting tormented, and that's just one of many signs. This is a good one for Idaho. Idaho becomes first state to prefer death by firing squad for executions. And I actually saw this on our local. They were talking about this for a minute, and their whole reasoning for it was because during the C-19 pandemic, they had to do an execution, and they couldn't get the appropriate couldn't get the actual injections to unalive that person, so they had to delay. Just something they didn't want to do. And which is why I said, hey, man, why can't we just take them out back? I'm just joking. But hey, man, they have a special chair. They even showed it on. It's like a chair that you sit in, a strap across your back, and then there's a bunch of sandbags behind you. And hey, man, that's just one of many things they're going to have ready for the men of the Lord to say, hey, man, you want the chair? Or you want the charagma? We already know what we're going to say. And that's Lord willing, because, hey, man, that day is going to be really real for you soon, in the sense that you have to choose which side you're on openly. Let's see another one. This is here's an Edomite. Edomite, a 26-year-old man has been arrested and charged with having sex on camera. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years in prison. But yet you have this Edomite bitch talking about how being with a dog is better than a man. Fucking Edomites, man. Edomite. Here we go. That was Monday. I guess I'll read this. This is on Monday. This Monday, the benchmark S&P 500, which is going into the stock market, fell 2.7%, its biggest daily drop of the year. So again, man, things aren't dropping like this anymore. They're dropping like this, and soon enough, they're just gonna hit rock bottom. So yeah, brothers, I think that was it. I just wanted to talk about, some things that were going around, some topics. Jake's bugging out, eating rats on the fucking street. you know, judgments go out. These wars are going to increase, and things are not going to slow down. Things aren't going to get better. Things are going to get more expensive. These tariffs, and I saw a video of Trump arguing with the reporter saying how that tariffs don't fall on the consumer. Yet everything in this is now going even up and up and up and up, not to mention gas alone. So as you can see, this presidency is full of promises, and these people have been lied to this whole time. And yes, your vote does not matter. And all these we're saying in the prophets, starting with the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, you're going to start seeing it come to pass in real time. So if you haven't been taking heed, you haven't been this thing seriously, you've been lollygagging, thinking you got time to get right, thinking you got time to understand this doctrine, and that when that day comes, you'll know how to move. Hey, man, you're only deceiving yourself, because the elders and apostles, and all the brothers have been out there, man, starting with the apostles. We've been out there and pushing this message, and somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's got a cousin that you went to school with, and this or that, man, about the Hebrew Israelites, knows that the church is not it, knows about somebody is into the Bible, as you can say, and they call themselves a Hebrew Israelite, man, whatever camp they come by. So this is and I say that because Yahweh Shem Shai, it could lead you to another camp. I remember the first couple camps I saw was ISUPK, GOCC, man, wearing all white, and not ISUPK, but HOI as well. I saw a couple of their videos circulating, but I didn't really click until I had a couple of years go by of kind of putting the truth. It was 2015 when I first heard it. I was barely turning 18, and not really knowing what the fuck was what, and I was, working, and out of nowhere, man, I was just right before I turned 23, boom, just got activated, man, and I just had to start living different. I just had to start moving different, man. Every day I was waking up hella feeling guilty, man. I had no idea why until I started really going back into, looking into the Hebrew Israelites, trying to find answers, different types of avenues, and then the Lord, the Spirit just called out Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, brought me across Great Millstone. And ever since then, it's, I've been able to have those questions answered, so I know that's a testimony to a lot of these other brothers as well, but hey, man, this message is going out, so get right or get left, because things are only going to get worse, like I said, and that's not an understatement. But hey, man, Lord willing, that this quick news up, these little scriptures, not the little scriptures, but these little news updates and the scriptures that bring these events to life, man, we're edifying and you learn, but till next time, Lord willing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakadash. Double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and peace and say to you, hopefully, like talking about their laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Akim, Lord willing, Shalom. Hey, Shalom. Malak Azaya Allah. See you at camp, Lord willing. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.